Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Texia from BCE ICT 3B. Today, the topic that we'll be going to discuss is all about geographic isolation in chronic illness. So, let's proceed. And here are learning objectives. Number 1, define geographic isolation in chronic illness in relationship to special education. Number 2, analyze the importance of appropriate learning resources that can be used in dealing with difficult circumstances. Number 3, apply the knowledge that learned about the discussion. So let's proceed. What is geographic isolation? Isolation defined as a separation of population of a particular species into smaller units, which can prevent interbreeding between them. There are two types of isolation. Isolation mechanism, rather reproductive and geographical isolation. Since the topic that we focus on is all about geographic isolation, which means the separated groups, it occurs when an original population is divided into two or more groups by the geographical barriers rather, such as a river and mountains. Is living in remote places. Remote areas are those which are very far away from the urban areas. Um, they called as the rural yon, and are isolated community from highly populated settlements or lack of transportation. The example of it is province, like province, there lack of transportation. That's why more of the Filipino living in the province, naglalakad lang po sila para lang makapasok sa eskwelahan. So next is reaching children and students in remote locations. So as you can see, I put on my slide three pictures. Um, First is the child with holding a cell phone, and ang kahulugan naman nito is in students who are living in a remote location or far away from urban. It's so difficult to them to find a signal, and also in this pandemic, mas nahihirapan sila naman mag-transport or pumasok sa eskwelahan since naglalakad lang sila. Then lahat ng province areas na merong mga case ng COVID, nas nanatili talaga sa bahay. So, no choice sila kundi gumamit ng cellphone or mobile devices na makakatulong para maka to have a connections and communications with their teachers. So, and in the other hand is the children withholding books, that is one of the most important also in reaching students to learn. So next is what is chronic illness? Chronic illness are more commonly connected with the elderly. So chronically ill is children are tended to be more submissive and less socially outgoing than healthy children. A new study shows further kids who live in pain physically be more likely to have problems relating to their peers. Nagkakaroon sila minsan ng takot or trauma, especially sa mga estudyante na madalas nabubuli. That's why they pretend to be like for example, tinatamad silang pumasok sa eskwelahan kasi wala daw gagawin, ganyan. Pero in the real world, mas naka-experience sila ng bullying. That's why nagkakaroon sila ng trauma about that. Next is effects of chronic illness on schooling. As a parent, you need to become a observant to your children. It is much important to them to every day you need to talk to them like that, because there have some student with chronic illness may miss a lot of school. This might be because they need to go to the hospital, and some psychologists recover at home and to attend medical appointment. Especially this On this slide that I present, this can lead to difficulty completing their work on time, taking part in exams. That's why nafe-fail po sila sa mga grades nila or nahuhuli sila sa pag-submit. And next is decreased academic performance. Third is difficulty keeping up in the relationship with school friends. Minsan yung mga shy type na students, nagkakaroon sila ng parang lack of social interaction like that. Difficulty in getting around the school environment. Wala silang social interaction sa iba or other students that na maaari mag-build ng confidence nila, ganun. Difficulty participating in some school activities, for example, in physical education, and feeling less confident and less motivated, also possibly affecting self-esteem and body image. Next is supporting students with chronic illness. This is much important, and as a parent or future educators, you need to become observant also. That's why I've said a while ago, the important things to remember that that some of students having a difficult situation like that or experience chronic illness, you need to become here are share information, develop a care plan, share because as an observant, you need to follow or set the goals, especially these following are much helpful for you. Share information, develop a care plan, keep up good communication, make changes where necessary, and seek extra support. Is the importance, common accommodations, and following accommodations in the classroom adaptation are least suggested accommodation, but not comprehensive exhaustive rather. Other accommodation may be implemented based on the individual needs, and because a lot of students have differences, and each student as recommended by your campus or other school disability services office or other professionals. So here are the examples on the table that I retrieved from the link below, and you will see the common characteristic of a student with chronic health condition. A student has difficulty taking notes due to figure and hand stiffness and lack of concentration, because you will see they are experiencing like for example a nervous like that. So the commonly suggested accommodation in classroom adaptation is permit use assistive technology like for computer or digital voice recorder. Next is student experience lack of concentration, memory fog, severe pain, physical limitation, frequent absences, or other physical symptoms. Provide the support of a tutor, take taker or lab assistant. Also allowed extra time for assignments, tests, and examination. Next is student experiences physical symptoms that are require immediate to frequent interventions, such as going the washroom, getting a drink, or moving to relieve stiffness of pain. Commonly suggested accommodation in the classroom is allow breaks during classes to go to the washroom, drink water, and move around. So ito yung tinatawag natin na recess time, especially sa mga elementary student. Next is student is easily fatigued or exhaust. So here are commonly suggested limit or space exam to avoid having too many on the same day or during the same week. So next is student is easily distracted due to symptoms as reduced concentration or pain and other physical symptoms. Allow exam to be written in separate room. Lastly is the student has reduced overall health and is unable to meet the usual deadlines for assignments, tests, and exam. Commonly suggested accommodation in the classroom is allow some flexibility in course schedule, tests, and perhaps suggest reduce or reduce course load. And that's all for our topic. Thank you for listening.